Hi and welcome back. The topic for this lesson plan is the human body and its organ systems. There are 11 organ systems that make up the human body and they all work interdependently. So that means that they all have to work together and they all depend on each other. And it's really important for students to learn about the anatomy and physiology of their bodies because it is important to know what makes up your own body. And it's also really important for students who want to have a career in the medical field. They're going to have to know all of this later on in their educational careers or any career that they're going to take. So it is important for students to know about what makes up their body. And then the topic or the resource that we're going to be using for this lesson plan is going to be this book right here that I have. It is called Anatomy and Physiology Made Incredibly Visual, and I will show you some of the pages of this book. So that's what that looks like, and this is what we'll be using for the lesson. Some of the vocabulary that we are going to be studying in this lesson includes cells, tissues, organs, organ systems, and organisms. Those should kind of just be review. You should have learned these in your lower grade levels, but if not, we're going to cover them again. And then the rest of the vocabulary includes the 11 organ systems. You may already know some of them, so it might be just a refresher, a review, but we are going to get into all the other ones that you may not know about. So those are the vocabulary words that we're going to be studying. And a strategy for you to do on your own is this thing, or this strategy called alpha boxes. So basically what I have here are boxes from A to Z, and as you are reading, you will encounter some words that you may not know or want to define so you can remember them later. So all you have to do is write them in these boxes. So for example, I have the word homeostasis in the H box, and I have written the definition underneath the word. So I have it defined, and you can use this again for words that you may not know or the vocabulary terms that I just listed off. Other strategies that we'll be using for our reading phases, such as the pre-reading phase, the during reading phase, and the post-reading phase, include text appetizers, response logs, and a graphic organizer, and I'll go ahead and kind of explain those. So for the pre-reading phase, we have this text appetizer that I have here. So basically what this is, it's a couple of paragraphs. The first one is kind of related to real life events to get you interested and access your prior knowledge about the human body systems. And then the second paragraph is just an introductory to what we are about to be studying, as well as we have some questions down here at the bottom just to keep in mind while you are reading. It kind of covers some of the key points, kind of makes you think. So that's what we have for our pre-reading strategy. For our during reading strategy, I will have you do response logs. So this is what this is going to look like. So basically, while you were reading, this is with no help, so you will not have help from me. You will actually be working with another student. But while you are reading, you are to find statements that confirms what you thought beforehand, that you found interesting, confusing, or important, or just what you want to learn more about. And you will write the page number, write that statement, the code that goes with it, and then why you listed that. So that is with no help. You're just to work with your partner. Here's the rest of that strategy for you. So that's what that kind of looks like. And then for the with help during reading strategy, it's going to be the same thing. It's still the same response log, but I will be reading the text with you, and after that you'll reread it with a partner, and then we'll have a group discussion, and after we've discussed it, you partner with somebody and you go back and find statements that confirms what you thought, things like that, and you do it the exact same way, but you have a little bit more help. Then for our post-reading strategy, we have this graphic organizer. So basically we'll name the system and its functions, its structures, and we'll draw a picture to help us remember what that looks like, and we'll do this as a class. The way that you will be assessed during the lesson is by doing these exit tickets. Here's an example that I have. These exit tickets are just 1 to 2 sentences about what you learned about that system that we are covering that day. For my example, I have write 1 to 2 sentences about what you learned about the circulatory system, and then I just wrote the main function. So make sure that you pay attention in class. This just shows me what you are understanding or where you're struggling. So this is how you will be assessed during the lesson. And then after the lesson, you will be assessed on the graphic organizer that we will do as a class. So here is the rubric for that. So for this rubric, I'm just looking at the content, making sure that you use correct terminology and vocabulary and that all the information is there, as well as organization, and then if you included the pictures or not. So that concludes all the strategies that I have for you for this lesson. And again, the purpose for using this book is that, like the title says, it's incredibly visual. Most people struggle with the structures and things like that. So this is why this book is perfect. There is text in the book, but there are also really helpful drawings that label everything out and that breaks everything up, so it gives you a better understanding of the structures and the functions. And so that is why we were going to use this book for this lesson. And that concludes all the strategies and purposes for this lesson. Thank you.